On February 7, 2016, an ordinary glitch at the Bangladesh Central Bank ignited an extraordinary chain of events. What happened next exposed a world of cybercrime, intrigue, and a billion-dollar theft, meticulously crafted by the enigmatic Lazarus Group. Stay tuned as we unravel the captivating story behind one of the largest cyber heists in history. Subscribe now to dive deep into the shocking details and untangle the web of deception that forever changed the landscape of international cybercrime. As the director of the Bangladesh Central Bank stepped off the elevator and made his way to the accounts and budgeting department, he had no inkling of the chaos that was about to unfold. The printer, a crucial tool for real-time transaction reports, had malfunctioned. What might have seemed like a minor inconvenience soon revealed itself to be a critical disruption. The automated printer, designed to work 24/7, had ground to a halt, leaving its tray empty. Hours turned into an arduous ordeal as the bank staff scrambled to restore the printer's functionality. Finally, after concerted efforts, they managed to restart the printer, and the backlog of transaction reports began to pour out. However, this seemingly innocent solution led to a startling revelation. There were more statements than expected, and upon closer examination, 35 of these statements raised red flags. These were not ordinary transactions. They were suspicious payment orders for exorbitant sums of money, totaling nearly $1 billion. The origin of these unauthorized transactions traced back to the Bangladesh Bank's own account. The bank's SWIFT security system, renowned for its impenetrability, had been compromised. The scale of the breach was staggering, with the fraudulent transfers amounting to a significant chunk of the nation's reserves. Panic swept through the bank as employees raced against time to halt the unauthorized payments. But time was not on their side. The earlier printer malfunction had created a delay that proved costly. The audacious heist had been meticulously planned months in advance. It began in the Philippines, where a group of individuals opened 4 seemingly innocuous bank accounts with minimal deposits. Unbeknownst to the world, these dormant accounts would serve as conduits for $1 billion flow of illicit funds. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh Bank was growing, emblematic of a nation on the cusp of economic prominence. Yet, this prosperity was marred by the looming threat of losing $1 billion of taxpayer money. The stage was set for a high-stakes cyber attack, with the attackers gaining access to the Bangladesh Bank's computer systems through a malicious email. The malware provided them with a backdoor into the bank's inner workings, enabling them to observe, study, and bide their time. The hackers operated in the shadows, learning the bank's operational procedures, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. That moment came in January 2016, when the attackers initiated their plan. Using legitimate SWIFT credentials collected through the malware, they took control of the bank's SWIFT terminals, mirroring the actions of legitimate bank employees. The global payment network, SWIFT, known for its security, became a weapon in the hands of these hackers. Their target was not individual bank accounts, but the financial institutions themselves. The attackers orchestrated 35 fraudulent transfer requests, intending to siphon off $951 million to accounts across the globe. The funds were to be transferred from Bangladesh Bank's account in New York to various accounts in Asia. The audacity of the plan was astonishing, as it exploited the trust placed in SWIFT's authentication processes. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, unaware of the deception, began processing the transactions. Back in Bangladesh, the bank's employees were racing against the clock to rectify their printer problem. Little did they know that their technical glitch was not a coincidence, but a deliberate tactic. The hackers had taken steps to prevent confirmation messages from revealing their actions. They wiped evidence from the SWIFT database and crashed the automated printer, buying themselves crucial time. In Sri Lanka, $20 million arrived in an account belonging to the Shalika Foundation, a purported nonprofit. This transfer among the 35 triggered suspicions due to the unusually large amount for a small NGO. An observant employee at the Pan Asia Bank noticed the discrepancy and sent the transaction back for verification. The fraudulent nature of the transfer became apparent, and the funds were rerouted back to the Bangladesh bank. Despite the hackers' well-calculated efforts, their plan was not foolproof. The automated system in New York detected anomalies in 30 of the transactions, thanks to a coincidence involving a blacklisted shipping company. These transactions were blocked, dealing a blow to the hackers' ambitions. However, 5 transactions amounting to $101 million slipped through the cracks. These remaining transfers found their way to the RCBC Bank branch in the Philippines. 4 accounts, initially opened with minimal deposits, received an infusion of $81 million. The accounts were under fictitious identities and managed to evade detection. The hackers' timing was impeccable. The stop order from the Bangladesh bank didn't reach the RCBC bank due to a holiday in the Philippines. This perfectly timed heist bore the hallmarks of Lazarus, a hacking group responsible for a series of global cyber attacks. The group's fingerprints were found in the malware used in the Bangladesh bank heist and other financial institution breaches. Even more intriguingly, evidence pointed to a North Korean connection. An IP address linked Lazarus to a North Korean source, suggesting the involvement of a nation-state in this audacious cybercrime. If North Korea's involvement is confirmed, the implications are staggering. This would mark the first known instance of a nation-state robbing banks for their financial gain. Lazarus's actions could be a part of a broader strategy, targeting perceived enemies and leveraging stolen funds to advance nuclear programs and sustain the nation's economy. The heist's international reverberations could transcend financial realms, encompassing political campaigns, weapon systems, and even civilian bank accounts. As the news of the staggering cyber heist spread throughout Bangladesh, shockwaves reverberated across the nation. The billion-dollar loss represented a significant portion of the country's reserves and potential funding for crucial development projects. The public was left in disbelief, and questions about the security of the nation's financial systems and international transactions loomed large. In the aftermath of the attack, Bangladesh Bank's leadership faced intense scrutiny. The director who had first discovered the suspicious transactions found himself at the center of a storm of blame and confusion. How could such a massive breach occur within one of the country's most crucial institutions? As authorities and cybersecurity experts worked tirelessly to piece together the puzzle, the extent of the Lazarus Group's actions began to unravel. While the successful heist had already occurred, the investigation into the attack was just beginning. Cybersecurity teams from various international agencies joined forces with local authorities to dissect the malware, trace the paths of the stolen funds, and uncover the identities behind the Lazarus Group. It was a challenging task, as the hackers had employed sophisticated techniques to obfuscate their activities and origins. One crucial breakthrough came when researchers discovered striking similarities between the code used in the Bangladesh bank heist and previous cyber attacks attributed to Lazarus. The group had a track record of targeting financial institutions, critical infrastructure, and even entertainment companies. The 2014 Sony Pictures hack was a particularly notorious incident, as Lazarus had unleashed a torrent of destructive attacks to protest against the release of the movie The Interview. As investigators delved deeper into the digital breadcrumbs left by the hackers, they unearthed a surprising link, an IP address that seemed to connect Lazarus to North Korea. While this discovery was significant, it also raised questions about potential misdirection. Could the North Korean IP address be a deliberate attempt to mislead investigators? The possibility remained, but cybersecurity experts were largely convinced that the Lazarus Group was indeed operating under the umbrella of the North Korean regime. As the world absorbed these revelations, diplomatic tensions escalated. The international community grappled with the unprecedented notion of a nation-state orchestrating a massive cyber heist. The implications were staggering. If North Korea had, in fact, sponsored this attack, it signified a new era of warfare, one conducted not with conventional weapons but with lines of code. Governments across the globe scrambled to fortify their cybersecurity defenses, recognizing the vulnerability of their financial systems and infrastructure. Cybersecurity firms and experts became sought-after advisors, offering guidance on safeguarding digital assets against the evolving tactics of state-sponsored hacking groups. Bangladesh, meanwhile, faced an uphill battle in its pursuit of justice and financial recovery. The stolen funds had been dispersed through complex networks, involving various intermediaries and shell companies. Efforts to trace the money and reclaim the stolen billions required international collaboration and meticulous investigative work. Back in the Philippines, authorities intensified their efforts to apprehend Ding and Gao, the two Chinese middlemen responsible for facilitating the movement of funds through RCBC Bank. The lapse in due diligence on the part of the bank had allowed the illicit transfers to occur, and questions were raised about the efficacy of anti-money laundering measures. In a surprising twist, the Chinese authorities apprehended Ding and Gao as they attempted to re-enter China. The men faced extradition to the Philippines, where they would be held accountable for their roles in the heist. This development raised hopes that the masterminds behind the Lazarus Group's operations might also be brought to justice, though their identities remained shrouded in secrecy. The Bangladesh bank heist served as a watershed moment in the world of cybersecurity and international finance. It laid bare the vulnerabilities inherent in interconnected financial systems and underscored the need for stronger defenses against cyber threats. The incident also spotlighted the evolving nature of geopolitical conflict, as nations realized the potential of using digital weapons to destabilize adversaries. Years later, the memory of the billion-dollar heist still haunted Bangladesh and the global financial community. The Lazarus Group's audacious exploits had forever changed the landscape of cyber warfare, leaving an indelible mark on the world's understanding of security in the digital age. We have come to an end of this intriguing tale today. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our previous videos. Thank you.